Welcome to the Lift with Sheila Robinson Kiss. Come on in. There's always a special place set aside for you here where you can relax, kick up your heels, pour yourself a nice, refreshing drink, and prepare to be lifted and soar. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, and welcome back to the Lift with Sheila Robinson Kiss. We've got it all here: mental health, movement, motivation, and the best relationship advice around. Let's dive into today's topic. I want to talk to you about what not to do. What not to do when a relationship is changing. And believe me, they do change. I received a couple notes from Hank and Jamie. Ordinarily, I will just share one note, but the topic had to do with relationships and relationship change. So I thought, you know what? Let's just do a 2-for-1 special. I'm going to dive right in here. I'm going to read both notes, and then I want to take you, as I frequently do, inside the innards, the underbelly of relationship change, because there's some cautionary tales here. So here we go. First note. Hi, Sheila. I'm not one to reach out for help. I find your advice to be clean and clear. My best friend of over 20 years just got married. I do not care for his wife. He is happy with her, but she treats him bad at times. I'm cordial to her and plan to continue. I have gone from working and hanging out with my friend 4 to 5 times a week to maybe catching a grab to maybe grabbing a bite to eat every other month. I'm starting to resent my best friend. I see that other friends get invites to socialize at their home frequently, even to the point of traveling together. I have other friends, not other best friends. What should I do? Hank. So hold that thought. Basically, to recap, his friend has gotten married. He doesn't like the person that his best friend is paired with now, and he's spending less and less time. So hold that thought. Let me read Jamie's note. Dear Sheila, I met my partner 17 years ago. It was love at first sight, a very intense physical and emotional connection. We spent every moment we could together. Today, I barely believe I ever had any of those feelings. We do not function as friends or lovers. Over these 17 years, I've explored more of the world, met interesting people, and developed some interests that I really love. Long story short, she has not grown with me at all. I don't know what we have in common anymore except our kid. I could do without the physical passion in the relationship, but we don't have any connection or fun. I've tried counseling and everything I can think of. I don't want to be here anymore. How do I tell her? Have you seen people just hang in there and things get better? Appreciate it, Jamie. So, okay, Hank and Jamie, you've definitely come to the right place. I've said it many times, and I'll say it again. I find relationships infinitely, endlessly fascinating because with each relationship, we get to explore a different part of who we are. So people show up, we can travel with them. You know how the saying goes, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Relationships change. People change. I'm going to answer both Hank and Jamie's concern, but inside of that, I want to share with you a few things not to do. Don't do these things when a relationship is changing. So, first and foremost, for you, Hank, um, my advice, and this is a golden nugget that I wish someone would have sat down with me earlier in life and just shared it. You're going to have to use a combination of wisdom and decoding. Wisdom and decoding. Why? Because most people are not fully transparent in relationships, in their communication, especially when relationships are changing, because they don't want to hurt you. They don't want to hurt you. So the number one piece of advice, please don't avoid and ignore the obvious. It is very obvious what is going on here. You may fight it, as they say, even if it's a best friend, loving eyes have a difficult time seeing. That's the service I provide to support you in seeing clearly. I think if your best friend was going to be candid with you, he doesn't want to say it because it will hurt you. I'm going to say it not to hurt you, um, but because I truly feel this is what is going on. And I think even when the truth is painful, it truly can set us free. I think your friend would likely say, listen, I love you dearly. My feelings have not changed. I am paired with this woman now. Um, right, wrong, good, bad, or indifference. This is where my bread is buttered, literally and figuratively. I'm probably not being the best friend to you right now, but I don't want to upset the situation at home. She doesn't like you, you don't like her. It's not the most comfortable situation when you guys are together. And at the end of the day, if I have to make a choice right now where I'm at in my life, is I am choosing to protect her feelings. And I know your feelings are hurt. This is just me kind of channeling your friend. If he was to be brutally honest with you, and I hear myself saying it, and it stings just to say it, but this is the kind of conversation that we have to get to the point where we are identifying what is in front of us and more or less have these come to Jesus talks with ourselves so that we don't put people in a position where they need to say it, or we don't put ourselves in a position where the obvious, quite frankly, is unfolding and we just don't want to deal with that. Or we're so wrapped up into our pain and hurt, we're not taking the time to step back, use our tools. We all, what I say, guys, it's tools and not talk. We have tools to comfort ourselves. Look, I have over 700 videos on here at this point. Look at my video. It's called Adult Self-Soothing. How to soothe yourself in these situations. But in order to soothe yourself, you have to know where is the hurt, where is the pain point. So, you know, Hank, I hurt for you. I've been there more than once, and it's when you literally feel the nature of the relationship changing so dramatically, and especially if the person has gone on to a rich territory in their lives, and you can feel like you're being left behind. A lot of feelings, at the end of the day, it just doesn't sound like this woman is putting a gun to his head. You look at her, you have resentment toward her, but he could also just as easily say, listen, this is my best friend. This is my ride or die friend. I love you dearly, but from time to time I'm going to want to spend time with him. I want to maintain that relationship. I know this is hard. That's not happening. And believe me, I know it hits you in a certain spot, but it's time to look at that. And my advice to you, you know what? You're having lunch every other week. It's either you can make the adjustment to kind of the minimal amount of time and just say, you know what, this is kind of where, not where we part ways, but where things change. You can bless him, wish him well, and get a focus on something else and take yourself out of pain. You have the option to walk away from the relationship altogether, but the reality is it's a long history that you're throwing away. I've seen people, have their kids, get married, and come back full force. I mean, life is a funny thing. So it's incumbent upon us to really learn to be flexible and just roll with it. That's something I also wish I've developed that skill in full force today. But I can think back on some relationships where really what I should have done, but again, when we know better, we do better. I should have just blessed it, God bless you, have a happy time. It's just not where my head was at that time. And what happened inside of kind of that sadness, some being somewhat dismayed, you just don't handle yourself. I didn't handle myself in a way that certainly just minimized the impact of those circumstances for me. That's why I'm sharing with you based on experience. Today, truly, I'm of the mind, and this is another tip and strategy I have for both of you, Jamie and Hank, is to enjoy your relationships, enjoy them, but have a ready mind. That's the second strategy. Enjoy it, but have a ready mind, because it people change. The inner workings of people are exceedingly strange. I mean, I've had a couple situations where till this day, if I allowed myself to, I would still be scratching my head like, what happened? I thought we were cool. I thought we were having fun. And they just disappear. And the thing that I've come to understand truly, it's not just a cliche for me, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And I fully honor, this is just a positioning I have for my life. I don't want anyone to be anywhere they don't want to be. And clearly, if you do a ghost move, if you phase out, you don't have enough respect to have a conversation, or various options open up, whatever the case may be. That's the revelation and enough of a reason in and of itself. You just take a deep breath and you need to move on, because anything else, again, God is not the author of confusion. Anything else, there's not going to be good fruit. There's not going to be good fruit coming from it. So, you know, have that ready mind. You enjoy them to the max, but knowing that the the nature of life is change. People change their mind, they change circumstances over the evolution of a relationship. People can change, which brings me to sharing my advice with you, Jamie. You ask, is it have I seen people just hang on in a relationship where there's no physical spark, there's no emotional spark, there's no foundational friendship? Have I seen people just hang on and things change? The answer to that is no. I've seen people hang on and do some work and roll up their sleeves to recalibrate and things change. But if you're sitting in a spot where you say you tried the counseling, you've tried a number of things, and this person just does not want to come into these spaces with you, you're traveling, you've changed, you have interests, this person does not want to join you in that, and just kind of seems content, more or less to weather on the vine. Well, you know this is a real world channel, and my advice sometimes, I don't feel like it's controversial because it's me, it's just what I think and believe, but some people feel like it's controversial. um, I believe in relationships, I believe in love, I believe in commitment, but I also believe in good old fashioned common sense and just the health, moving through life healthy. What you're describing, it just doesn't sound healthy. And these books are written, and audios and courses, and having sat with thousands of people, some couples, um, sometimes you just need to go. This sounds like it may be such a time based on what you've shared. So you know the circumstance better than me, but your question was, how do I say that? How do I share that? I think you share it directly and with compassion, because what I've seen on the flip side, and I too have experienced this, when you don't deal in integrity and authenticity and honesty in relationships, there's an erosion that is constantly taking place If there is a foundation to the relationship, it's being eroded by moving through that connection with a lack of authenticity, and it's gonna fall. Okay, it's going to crumble because the foundation is not sound. So, I'm a true advocate for when you have enough of a handle on a circumstance and no, I've tried everything that I could, no stone left unturned, this is unhealthy for me, that's when you need to start speaking. Not when you find another relationship and you've got something else lined up. That's really not living and walking in authenticity. And it's how people really get hurt emotionally, physically, spiritually in relationships. It sounds like you need to sit down and have the come to Jesus talk, quite frankly. My advice for everyone watching is also to give some thought to your relationship pattern. When things change, what has been your pattern? Because working backwards, that's going to give you a lot of information on where you need to breathe, readjust, pay attention. I can tell you, I've been candid with all of you. There was a time where I was living as a disempowered woman, and my automatic response when a relationship changed was it was a panic to grip it, to keep it, whatever it was, even if it was crap, to keep it in place. And I'm going to do some videos in the upcoming month about dealing with the void, dealing with the inner void within you. And so keeping that garbage in place was a coping mechanism for me to fill this void that had sat empty for a long time. So it's like just stay in place, not even stepping back to look at a critical question. Here's the question I want you to think about. This is key. This relationship is changing. It's changing. Am I automatically thinking that the change is for the worse? This relationship is changing. Could it possibly be for my greater good? If the relationship is growing and blossoming, could that possibly be for my greater good? If the relationship seems like it's fading out and ending, could that possibly be for my greater good? Had I stopped during this disempowering period, let's call it the dark ages for me, that's how I refer to it. Had I stopped, there were a few relationships in there, and just sat down with a cup of tea, some snacks, crackers, cheese, what have you. uh Sheila, what's going on here with this? And if I work backwards, I could honestly tell you, I would have said, look, all signals are this is not a mutually beneficial, respectful relationship in the first place. It's run its course. But that pattern was there to just lock it in. And I'll tell you, I say often, work on yourself. You see, never stop working on yourself, because eventually these revelations, these insights, what you get from books, videos, nuggets of wisdom from people you meet, this stuff catches up with you. The hand of God catches up with you. He's always like, I can just imagine him just, hey, look, Sheila, I'm with you, but girl, you got to get smarter here. I'm trying to work with you, but come on, let's go. So eventually, this is it's a cumulative effect. Like your investments, putting money in the bank. It's a cumulative effect, and eventually you're gonna need to write out a check, and wow, I have excess in the bank. That's what this is about. This When we get in with this together, this stuff pays you back. I'm My life is nothing more than a testimony. That's what this YouTube channel is, a testimony, living, breathing. I am a living example of what continual work on yourself, allying with the hand of God and being consistent can do. Because I'm telling you, in those dark ages, there were some dark, dark days, and the awareness wasn't there. Knew some things were not right, but just had the study commitment. This is going to get figured out, it's going to get worked out. And thank you, Jesus, it has. It has. So, what I'm about is the tools, is giving you the pure tools of empowerment. We're not playing games on the channel. We don't do any bells and whistles. This is a community of people coming together who are interested in celebrating your gains. We celebrate the gains, we give each other a high five, and we are constantly in a state of elevation because it's the little pearls and nuggets of wisdom that make all the difference. So I want you to just internally make that commitment. Let me, as things are changing, let me not panic right away. Let me ask, could this be for my greatest and highest good? And let me just take an inventory and an assessment here. And believe me, many times you will come back with some stunning revelations. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, I firmly believe that every person that we meet, from the stranger to the people that we share 20, 30, 40 years of marriage, maybe even more, this is not a dress rehearsal. All of this is with great purpose. It's with great purpose. It makes absolute sense to me as I sit here today, as I live and breathe. It makes absolute sense. The necessity of people to come into our lives and to go. It makes absolute sense that there will be some people that we enjoy for a summer, for a fall season of our lives, for a winter season, and then those relationships transition. Ask yourself, what have I learned? What was delivered to me? They come to us. The people come to us individually with a series of lessons or a singular lesson. Once they have served their purpose, then it is time to depart. Or they're a goodie bag relationship. Wow, these little gems and treasures that stick around for extended periods, or in some instances for a lifetime. But let's move away from getting things, imagining that they need to stay in place. Let's do our best here to non-resistance, non-resistance, and see how it moves, flows for you and what makes sense. So these are some thoughts. I hope that my words were helpful for you. I always appreciate your notes and I appreciate all of you. If you're loving what I'm doing, do not forget to subscribe and share the news of the channel with your friends and family. And please drop me a note. What's your thoughts on dealing with relationships when they change? I'll be back soon with some more great content. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.